Hello, everybody. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon to all of you race fans all over the world. Welcome to another ALTTPR League race here. This is a week 4 mystery seed between Reheated Leftovers and Hime, I think. I think that's how we sound that. I don't really speak German, so we're going to take our best guess here. Now, on the Reheated Leftover side here, we have Mystic racing for them. He's going to be favoring a Zelda sprite here. And over on Hime's side, we've got Dragon Strike. Both of these runners are quite quality here. They have raced many practices to get to this point as well, and it looks like we are starting immediately, and this is a stand opening. It looks like we've got a standard seed with an assured sword here, so if you guys want to go ahead and join in, you're more than welcome here, because a mystery seed means we don't know what exactly it is we are going to be doing today, but we had a really nice early start there, as we got just a couple of bombs sitting there in Link's house. So with a standard start, you typically want to farm for bombs, but that's not going to be something we need to do today. Both runners are making their way through the escape sequence right now. Just looked like a big 20 there on the uncle, as we find the bow sitting there in the secret passage chest, which is a great early find here. I wonder if we're going to get a quick map check from either of the runners just to see if we're in key sanity or if we're just playing this straight today. And the answer to that question is no. It does seem like we're just going to blast right through escape as quickly as we possibly can. All right, and your standard escape sequence here we're running through on this here is just to get down to Zelda's cell and get her to the sanctuary as quickly as possible. You've seen this many times as well here. Now, just to talk about it right now here, my name is Dazed Cloud here. I will be doing the talking today. Our venerable tracker today is Revolving Ocelot. He will be clicking the buttons behind the scenes for us today. We're having a little issues getting tracking and everything set up here, so just kind of bear with us as we get a nice quick kill there over on Dragon Strike side. Mystic taking a little bit of an extra time here, so he's going to lose a second or two to to Dragon Strike here. But I mean, with it being this early, it's not really that big of a deal quite yet. We're going to make our way back to through escape there, and things are going to be pretty easy right now with no bow. Well, I mean, sorry, with not having to farm for bombs or anything like that. This is not going to be too hard for the runners. They can just immediately go and dodge the snakes here that are in the escape sequence, or the ropas if you want to get really technical about it, and just make their way to the 3 chests in the back of the, well, underneath the sanctuary, basically. As Dragon Strike is already into the sewers already, as Mystic is maybe a good, I don't know, say 10 seconds behind at this point. Now, to give you a little background, Dragon Strike was the winner this year of the Challenge Cup, as he pulls out a big 20 out of the Dark Cross there. So, to give you, the Challenge Cup is the tournament for people who either were not able to qualify for the main tournament, or were not weren't able to make the number of qualifiers available. Dragon Strike is a runner that quite easily he can be considered with very, very highly. He's very big in the German community of racers here. So if you're not so familiar with him, he is very, very, very good. As Mystic is having a little adventure in the back there with the key rats there. It looks like the back of Escape didn't have anything of interest for our runners today. As we're going to get a quick look here on Mystic's side, again, at it, that's just 10 arrows and 10 arrows and just a little map there. So we're gonna have to open up this sanctuary chest, which Dragon Strike shows us to be a piece of heart, and he is out of the sanctuary at 6:04, which is a really, really great time there. And where are we off to now? I'm kind of surprised we haven't seen a map check from either runners right now. That map would tell us really fast if we're looking at Key Sanity, or if we're looking at Map and Compass Shuffle, or something like that. As Mystic leaves the sanctuary, and it looks like he's going to be following Dragon Strike into the village right now, as just sitting there in the Lost Woods there at the mushroom spot. We've got the lamp, and a quick map check for Mystic there said that we had a red pendant there on Desert Palace and 2 red crystals in Eastern Palace and Tower of Hera. As chat rightly points out, that we don't have a map and compass shuffle here, because we've already seen a map out of the back of Escape there. All right. Now, Dragon Strike is making his way into town right now. He's got 2 bombs right now. He's going to hope to find at least 1 more in here. But he's about to get most of the items, one of the biggest early stashes of items here. As in Blind's hut, we're going to find ourselves just a piece of heart, the Moon Pearl, which is very good find, a fire rod, and half magic. So at this point, once we get Dark World access, that moth is going to die very quickly. As Dragon Strike is leaving, as Mystic is entering, he's going to be heading over to the well probably to get the next big chunk of 5 items, as Mystic is going to pull out his Moon Pearl and his Fire Rod and half magic. And there is our glove, so that is 2 pieces to the Dark World already here, as 50 rupees is also in the back of the well, and 300 more rupees, and a Master Sword, and a piece of heart. So, wow. We're getting stacked here now. This is one of those times where you start going, And there is the mirror on the on the bottle merchant today. So we are just finding all sorts of crazy things already here. I hope our tracker can keep up, because oh man, that is a ton. Now, unfortunately, both runners are going to have to go buy bombs because they are out of bombs at the moment here. But Kakariko has been absolutely stacked so far. As Mystic picks up his mirror from the bottle vendor as Dragon Strike is entering the Kuko's hut. Throws a bomb here, gets one of the Kukos a little bit. Kuko runs away, squawks like a chicken for a little bit. It's all good. And that is a heart container there. So we're going to have 5 hearts, Master Sword. So we are at we're having a little issue here for both runners. We're not sure which way we're going to get into the Dark World. Now, that Master Sword plus that lamp does give us the ability to get in there immediately through the Aga play. But we don't necessarily want to do that, because climbing that tower is a good exercise in seeing the same thing that we've seen many times before for a good 4 minutes. And you would almost rather go a different way here. So we're going to be, hopefully, the runners are both going to spend a little bit of time looking for those mitts or looking for the hammer here. As Dragon Strike takes a look at the island there and just sees a piece of heart. So that's one thing he's not going to have to check later here. And he's going to make his way to Eastern Palace and just get his first crystal immediately. Alright, it looks like Mystic is going to do the exact same thing. He's just going to go right on his tail, go directly to Eastern Palace here. And see this now. Dragon Strike, on one hand, opting not to do the Sashirala check quite yet. It looks like Mystic is going to head that way first, so he's going to get those 3 items from Sashirala out here and go from there. Now, for anybody who is just joining us, to be honest, it doesn't seem like we've got a whole lot of information yet. We know that it was an entrance start because we had to rescue Zelda. We do have an assured sword, and that's it. There's no enemizer. There's no key sanity, no map and compass shuffle. This is pretty much a straight up mode here. Now, the big thing that we're going to have to find is once we get to the Dark World, we're going to have to see if we get some sort of different crystal goal or maybe a pendant seed, pendant seed, a pedestal seed. So hold on saying exactly what we've got so far. as Dragon Strike shows off kind of the secondary way to clear that one Stalfos room there in Eastern Palace there, as he just walks in, shoots 4 arrows up, down, left, right, and we find our mitts there sitting in the big chest. So this is at the moment not an Agassiz, pending some sort of progression being on the Lumberjack, which nobody has checked that right now. Dragon Strike took a little moment there to kind of decide whether or not he wanted to orphan this one big key chest back here in Eastern Palace, deciding that, you know what, I'd rather not take the chances of beating myself, and went ahead and is making his way back there right now. Unfortunately, only I have to see if Mystic is going to make any sort of gamble there as well. It does look like he'll, if I know Mystic and I am his teammate, there's a good chance he's going to go straight back there. Alright, and Dragon Strike has gone to the arm. Quick kill here, gets a map for his trouble, and picks up crystal number 1 there. Sorry for being quiet. There wasn't a loud apartment announcement in my building, so I kind of had to. I don't know how interested everybody was in hearing a whole bunch of Korean. Now, one thing we do know that there is no animizer today, because on the start screen for both of these runners, there was no animizer settings there. So Dragon Strike is going to make his way over to the old man right now, pick up the 3 items out of the back. I believe when we saw it on Mystic's side, there was nothing of interest back here, as we get 10 arrows and a couple of heart pieces. So we are moving on back here, as Mystic is going to take down his Armos Knights in just a second. Dragon Strike is leading the way, but it is not a very big lead right now. Ravens, you're making me sad, buddy. As Mystic sets up the quick kill here, and gets a little off of it there, but he's going to be able to clean it up pretty quick here. Picks up his map as well, and that is crystal number 1 for Mystic. Now, here comes a big decision for our runners. The minimum crystals that you could possibly need for our league settings are 3. As we get a quick map check there, and there's the green pendant there was on Ice Palace, and the blue pendant was on Pod right there. Now, yeah, we are in a situation here where the minimum crystals that you need for this game are 3 crystals. But we don't know what that is now. So there's this weird sort of situation where if you want to find out the goal immediately, you can run across to the north of Hyrule here. Make your way over to the pyramid and get that information right away. So this is a little bit of strategy you have to try to figure out. Now both runners are deciding that, you know what, forget it, I need to go, and so we're going to head directly back to the Moth here, and it's not going to be a super easy fight. It's 5 hearts, Master Sword, Green Mail, Moth, and as we all know, Moth is a known jerk. And if he decides that some of your hits are not going to have any effect on him, there's not a whole lot you can do about it. But this is a very understandable play for both runners here, as it does seem like the seed is kind of telling you this is where you want to go. Perhaps you should go here. We do have half magic, so that is the one saving grace of this fight, that half magic will make things not as terrible, as Dragon Strike kind of decides that he doesn't actually want his sword beams and hugs the mini Homasaur here, so he's going to go in with basically 2 hits to his name from Moth. Moth does 2 hearts contact damage, and each of the spikes will only do a single here, as he's just starting off with an excellent start here on the Moth fight. Takes 1 hit there, takes a second hit down to a single heart, but also takes down the Moth in record time there. Very, very good, as Mystic has pulled out a pack of bombs from the big chest in Skull Woods, and that is crystal number 2 for Dragon Strike at under 20 minutes. Now Mystic is taking a little bit more time here to go ahead and check out the front of Skull Woods here and go through and pick up everything. And as he's now dancing around waiting for that Wall Master to come around, he wasn't just having a spontaneous little flicker there. He was waiting for the Wall Master. Yeah, there's a lot of great options right now. Like, we don't know exactly what's the best way for either of these runners to go ahead and complete the rest of the seed, because without knowing that goal, it's going to be a really, really difficult thing to do there. Because if you're just 3 crystals, you are already in go mode. Now it's going to be an awful cannon fight at that point. A 5 heart Master Sword fight there with no safeties. It's doable, but it is an awful fight, as it looks like Dragon Strike is at least looking for his second item here. Got to dance around some Gibdos real fast and finds a small key there. So it looks like we've got to go to there, as Mystic is dropping into his Moth fight. Again, a very difficult fight here. He's going to have to make sure not to get hit, is the basic thing. Great fight there over on Mystic's side. Both runners showing their skills quite well there. And that is going to get Mystic his crystal number 2 as well. Now with Mystic immediately pulling out his mirror, that kind of lends me to believe that we've found both items already in the front here. So it's a good chance he's just going to mirror out and walk back down to the Mitz portal here. Or not, he hadn't got the chest underneath the stairs here. So going to be picking that up real fast, as Dragon Strike is making his way into the village of Outcasts here. Okay, into Thieves Town over on Dragon Strike side. Mystic is going to be walking around and hitting the portal. Going to have to do a quick loop here to hit the Dark World portal again, as Dragon Strike is going to look to capture his third crystal, possibly his third crystal already. You have to see if he's going to go directly to the back or if he's just going to go check the first 4. You know, it's a question of how aggressive do you want to be at this early stage. Alright, and we're going to pick up a bloopy there on Dragon Strike side and the big key, so we're on our way to the back now. That we've already picked up that small key, so we at least know that there is something in the big chest. Now, we don't know what it is at the moment. Now, Mystic is making the other play here. It looks like, at the very least, he's going to walk over to check the graveyard ledge here, and after that, I wouldn't be surprised to see him go ahead and do the Kern jump and try to get an idea of what exactly this game is going to ask him to do. As Dragon Strike takes a nice stroll through the hellway there, as Mystic picks up the blue boomerang out of Graveyard Ledge. Dragon Strike just walking right through that hellway like it was a nice summer day, not even worrying about the spikes and the starfish and all the other fun things that are there to mess him up. Alright, looks like Mystic will be... Okay, he's going to go for the... Oh. Yep, unfortunately not hitting the setup there, as Dragon Strike is rewarded into Thieves Town with a tempered sword, so stuff is a little bit easier for him there. I think the Hinox there might have been throwing off Mystic for his attempt there, as he's I think he's 1 pixel too high there. Now he's 1 pixel too low for this Kern jump to work. As he gets the splash deletion there and is able to get across there, he needs to be a little careful. Those Hinox would one-shot him. Use a little bit of discretion and walk around the north side here. Choosing not to check Catfish, as Dragon Strike already has blind and is making his way to the boss room right now to do that. And but on Mystic's side, we are going to get the information about the goal in just a minute here. Now, if it's 3 crystals, Dragon Strike is probably going to be done in the next 10 minutes. Now, this was the one danger with on Mystic's side of doing this sort of play, is that if it turns out to be a very easy goal and your runner has your opponent has already done it here. Oh well, never mind. That is 7 crystals. We are going to be doing this for a little while here. We are a 7 crystal Ganon fight, as Dragon Strike has taken down blind and is immediately going to have his 3rd crystal here. Now, unfortunately, I was kind of watching Mystic's screen there with the bomb jumps and such like that, so I wasn't checking to see how many items Dragon Strike was able to pull out of there. I don't know if there is something behind the Thieves Town big chest. Now, Dragon Strike is cleaning up things in the the Village of Outcasts just gets a big 20, and we get to see a piece of heart is just on the lumberjack here. Now there is one thing with this seed here. We have a one of the options for this is we've got a like an item pool here. We can have a hard or expert item pool. Now we don't have the items themselves are still going to work the same. So all of your bottles are still going to refill the whole thing. Your boomerangs will still work the same way. We definitely don't. So we're waiting to see exactly what we have here. We know we don't have any sort of expert mode here because we do have a tempered sword. So that is kind of nice, as Dragon Strike is gonna go ahead and do a lot of digs to get a bug net that it's not actually going to help him too much here, as we're getting a lot of divergence because Mystic has moved his way all the way up the mountain. Gonna run away from some cabbages there who are being very, very rude. And then he's gonna just go ahead and take the safe way through the back here. Dragon Strike in Cave 45, we just find a piece of heart. So, onward we go. And Stumpy not having any sort of progression for us today, as that's just 20 rupees. Now, if Mystic finds something up here, he's going to give himself a little... Oh, that is something right there. That is a hammer sitting in Spectacle Rock. So that's a nice find for Mystic. It's not going to be too much of an advantage because Dragon Strike is likely to come right up the mountain, right behind him in just a moment. Once he gets done with Hype Cave here, because he doesn't really have anywhere else to go, unless he decides that he wants to check the goal and read the sign a little bit early. And nice bomb jump over there on Mystic's side there. That is not an easy bomb jump to get by any means. As Dragon Strike pulls the powder out of Hype Cave, and yeah, that was about it. Now, this is not the safest area to be doing a fake to be doing a fake flipper in here, as he's gonna set up the splash deletion here, drops a couple of bombs, shoots a couple of arrows, doesn't quite get it the first time, so he's gonna have to retry it again here. It's getting these splash deletions. It's not necessarily hard, but it's not necessarily easy either. You can go through your entire pack of bombs pretty quickly. As he gets it that time. Now, he doesn't want to jump out of the water yet. This is going to be kind of a tricky little swim for him. I might be swimming to the north, because if he somehow didn't die, he must have jumped out of the water here when he got hit or something. I have no idea how he didn't die there. Yeah, it would have been better for Dragon Strike definitely to swim up to where the hobo would have been. But either way, he's going to give us now a South Shore check here. I don't know. I kind of wonder how he's feeling right now with missing that thing. I mean, Mystic does have a slight knowledge advantage, but it's not a huge... the advantage today is not going to be a big one, because we've just got ourselves a full 7 crystal seed here. That being said, Mystic will also be able to see what we need to get into Ganon's Tower today, as Dragon Strike pulls out our first bottle of the day. And, oh boy, a whole bunch of singles it looks like in there as well. So, nothing too exciting. Mystic deciding to go with the combination hammers, slashes, and apparently Mystic just poked Moldorm. I don't know how that was just a poke, but apparently that was a poke. Either way, Moldorm goes down and he is now exploding. As Dragon Strike is now spending a little bit of time here trying to figure out exactly what he's supposed to be doing next. It was a good Moldorm fight, and that's crystal number 3. So we're tied on crystals between the two teams, and Dragon Strike is playing entrance apparently. Cross Keys is next week, so that's going to be a whole lot of fun for everybody who is in here for that one. That'll be a good time. As it looks like we have an item in the basement, so Mystic's going to take the second here and figure out exactly how he wants to get this item. Deciding to go use the fire rod to try to set up the coffee break strats here. And he gets it there on the first time, no problem. So he's just going to get to sit here and wait for the next 30 seconds while these tiles take care of themselves. Dragon Strike is going to blast through this wall in the desert to find just some bombs, so a little bit of a rebate on bombs. As we finally find I don't know what those tiles are supposed to be. They always kind of look like a Space Invader to me, but as we're going to blast through these couple of torches here, light them up, and find that Mystic is rewarded with just a piece of heart. So there is a little bit of time here, and Dragon Strike looks to be going directly up the mountain here. So this is going to be a good play for him. This will get him the hammer here that will make getting to the goal much easier. First, he's got to go check Lumberjack, make sure that he's not got anything there. As we're getting a nice slow spiral cave. As you just gotta kind of walk around here, and you can practice your pumping and such like that, but you're not gonna. There's no way to make that fast, unfortunately. All right, 20 rupees is your reward for making that long walk. As Mystic has a quick moment of forgetting which entrance it is for Paradox Cave from this direction here, as both runners are showing that even at this level, either nerves or muscle memory can sometimes get the best of you here. As we're finally going to get to see in Mystic's screen here exactly what is in Paradox Cave, and so far that is Bub Kiss. Now Dragon Strike is about to pick up his hammer. And wow, this is an exceptionally bad Paradox Cave so far. Yeah, like the best thing in that entire Paradox Cave was a heart container. That is not a great cave there. As we get a little hiccup on the bomb jump, and Mystic just deciding, you know what, forget it, I'm just going to go the long. Makes sense there. Now, Dragon Strike, on the other hand, has taken that hammer and immediately decided that, all right, I'm going to go figure out what this goal is. So where Dragon Strike maybe had a tiny bit of a lead here, he's now going to give that time back to Mystic, because Mystic already has this information and going to go through stuff here as well. So he's going to get two bonus things right now. He's going to be able to get the information, and he will get to go into the Palace of Darkness here. Now, technically, Palace of Darkness is not fully in logic yet, but neither of these runners, or pretty much any runner in the league, really cares about lamp logic outside of the moment that you have the fire rod. It's not really a big deal. As Dragon Strike gets the information that it is a 7 crystal, complete the entire crystals, and climb GT seed in front of us here. Into Super Bunny Cave we go on Mystic's side here, getting just a single rupee and a blue rupee there. And he saves and quits and doesn't check Ganon's tower. And I'm wondering if that, if that there is a little bit of muscle hiccup there on Mystic's side. Because checking GT would have been a very good idea. Now, our catfish today is just 50 rupees. So that is another thing that neither of the runners are going to really find particularly interesting at this point. We do have the money to pay Zora. We've got the money to pay Kiki. Everything is good from the cash flow front, as Mystic is about to get his pretty underwhelming hype cave. As gets his powder and a couple of extra heart pieces. Now Dragon Strike is making his way back up the mountain, not wanting to mess with the pendant Palace of Darkness yet. Now it looks like Mystic is going to go ahead and route in a lot of the southern checks here that he never really had the good time to do here, as both runners are going to be checking what the others has already done. So in this case, I will say this right now: go ahead and, if you can, give these runners a follow here. It is a lot of fun playing this game, but it's also very stressful in these league matches as well. So if you could give them a bit of love there, I'm sure they would appreciate it. Also, big shout outs again to our tracker there, Revolving Ocelot there, clicking the buttons behind the scenes, making sure that we get it all good, as the tracker is very finicky and occasionally does not want to behave in it. From what it sounds like, this is one of those days. Now, an option that Mystic did have a second ago was to go ahead and jump into Ice Palace there, but that would have been a very gambly option as well, because Ice Palace is your green pendant. You might not ever have to see it, but if something is in there, you could take a large advantage if you happen to jump in there. Alright, Dragon Strike's going to have a much easier Moldorm fight here with his Tempered Sword. One spin, one slash, and Moldorm is now exploding. That's going to give him Crystal number 4 on his side here. Alright, and hopefully on Dragon Strike's side, he is going to go ahead and check the entry requirement for GT while he's up here, because there is a good chance that there are things in GT, because we've checked a lot of the overworld already, and man, we haven't really found anything. Now, one good thing about Mystic's routing here is he will be able to check the smith chain coming from this direction, and at least be able to see what is sitting there on the smiths and on hammer pegs as well. Dragon Strike, otherwise, though, he will be able to see what we need to get into GT today, because we're going to be climbing that regardless of anything else, so you're going to want that information pretty easily, pretty quickly. Now, Mystic sees the bug net and decides that he actually pick it up here, as Dragon Strike is about to go get his incredibly disappointing items from the mountain here, because I think between the entire thing there was maybe about $100 in a heart container. So you're gonna want to check these, but unfortunately it is just nothing that you actually need today. Now we got to do a slow hammer pegs check. Alright, unfortunately, no boots today. There's a good chance that we're not going to find boots as well. As Mystic finds his Cane of Samaria behind the hammer pegs. That's a find here, because we both Misery Mire and Turtle Rock are crystals today, and we need to do all 7, so that's a great find there for Mystic. He's going to get to knock out quite a few checks here really quickly, and that is a place that Dragon Strike might not get back to for quite a long time. He's already been to the Village of Outcasts, so there's not an easy reason for him to come back this way. Alright, Magic Bat today is just going to show us that we've got just a piece of heart. Nothing particularly interesting, but something interesting is about to show up on Dragon Strike's side here. We're going to get to see exactly, hopefully, I'm saying this early, but we're going to get to see what the requirement is for GET, hopefully. As we see, it is Bombos to get into Turtle Rock today. And yep, we're going to get to see what is that GT requirement here. So this is going to be a good quick check on Dragon Strike's side, as we just tanks a hit from those Lionels and walks on through. And the answer is, oh, it is a 3 crystal to enter GT right here. So Dragon Strike, well, this actually doesn't really help Dragon Strike too much. What he could do right now, though, is if he decides to, he could climb the tower if this big key is in the Hope Room. And we get the flippers there in GT, and the big key is in Hope Room. So, does Dragon Strike make the play to climb? All right, we see a key on the thing here. Moldorm bouncing point there. Can he Moldorm bounce? That is a good question. Now, he does not have hookshot, but he's not, if he does this right, he doesn't need hookshot to get to some of these chests over here. Now, you got to set this up in the same way that you would set up a hammer yum. It's not the easiest setup in the world here. That one looks right. As he gets across, gets to this one thing here. Now he's got to set a second bomb jump to get across to the Stalfos room. And then at that point, he's pretty much gone. That's pretty much all he can do. All right, so we're going to get a quick look over here. Now, both runners at this point have a have like one advantage over the other. Dragon Strike picking up those flippers out of GT is a big find, because those flippers are 100% required. Swamp is a crystal today, so you're gonna need those. But on the other side, we do have a Cane of Samaria for Mystic, as he's got that in hammer pegs. Now, that being said, it does look like Dragon Strike is heading back. He might be doing the Smith Chain right now and erase Mystic's one little advantage. As we're making our way back into Hellway here, and Dragon Strike is back in the Village of Outcasts now. Kind of wonder where exactly, what his plans are. And this does look like a Smith Chain check for him, so... Now, Mystic gets his Tempered Sword, which is quite nice. Gotta be a little careful, because these grasshoppers up here do go ahead and do 2 hearts of damage while you're having green mail. And if you have a little bit of an adventure up there, you can lose a lot of health very quickly. And Dragon Strike is about to find his Cane of Samaria underneath the hammer pegs here, so he's routing this really well. Starting to look like Mystic not checking GT is going to be a bit of a problem, but it's still early enough that it's not a huge issue yet, depending on where we find that hook shot. Now, actually, one thing, Mystic is going to lose just like another 10 seconds here, because he has the hammer, so he'll be able to get the items from the big chest here in Thieves Town. As Blind did not want to follow Mystic there. I think probably the invulnerability frames there made it so that he didn't want to come along. Unfortunately, he's just going to get a compass out of this chest, and Dragon Strike picks up a piece of heart from the bat here. And at this point, I think we're going to be seeing probably a purple chest turn in on Dragon Strike's side, and then a combo from the purple chest up into the Pyramid Fairy. Alright, looks like Mystic is going to set up for the standard blind fight there. Gets the first 3 hits, no problem. Dragon Strike is making his way down to the south there to go give the lunchbox back to Gary. 6 hits down on Mystic's side, no problem there. And gets the 9th hit without any issue there, pretty much on script the entire time. Gets his 10 arrows and crystal number 4. And looks like the purple chest today is just 3 bombs. So again, nothing particularly of interest out here. Those flippers have yet to lead to anything, although it does mean that Ice Palace is 100% in logic right now. If you want to do a green palace, a green pendant Ice Palace, you can do it. I mean, you're not gonna want to, but you can do it. All right, and on Dragon Strike side, here is that big bomb purchase right now, and he's going to make his way to the pyramid. And from that point on, I would wager he's going to start thinking about Pod, just because he is right next to it. As we're starting to mention some incredible locations for that hook shot in in the chat there. There's a couple of places there now, like a 3 crystal GT requirement and a 3 means that you can put something at the top of the tower that our runners have to get. So like if we put the flute at the top of the tower and then say put the hook shot in Mire, life could be really unfun for these guys. As we get a butter sword there out of the pyramid fairy. Yeah, so we are just on a standard settings, it looks like, pretty much outside. Did we just roll a completely vanilla seed? I think we rolled a completely vanilla seed. Vanilla seed outside of the 3 crystal into power. Now, this is one thing that Dragon Strike is going to be able to do that Mystic is not. Because he has those flippers, he's going to be able to check all of the water locations, because neither of the runners decided to do this earlier. Because they both found Dark World access fairly easily. Now, Mystic is about to pick up his gold sword, and now on Mystic's side, I'd be very surprised to see if he did not go immediately into the Palace of Darkness from here. As Waterfall Fairy is just going to have a piece of heart and a 20 rupees, so yeah, it's not there either. This is going to be a kind of fun settings, it looks like, today, because we are going to be needing both an ice rod and whatever our medallions are, as we see the mushroom there hanging out on the waterfall ledge. And there is our first medallion sitting there on this. That is the third medallion. Now, that might be what we need to get into Mire, but it's not the medallion that we're looking for, as far as we know. As Dragon Strike does pick up his mushroom and chooses to walk out of the Zora area there. Oh, I believe this will probably be just a quick jaunt down to the witch's hut to go ahead and turn that mushroom in. Or we might see something crazy. Nope, just gonna go turn it in the mushroom. As Mystic is fighting again with the fake flipper setup here. Not getting it there. Does have that Cane of Samaria that if he wants to use that, that would maybe be a little bit more helpful. And get to there on the second attempt. Now this mushroom just leads to the Bombos medallion, so those flippers are locking something absolutely huge here. Now Mystic is going to have a chance to be able to get that, but he's going to have to pull off a very difficult fake flipper to get it, but he's not even going up there to check at the moment. He instead is heading down here to probably go ahead and route in the hobo. So this is kind of, okay, first we're just going to take a quick look at the island, and then we're going to walk over to the Ice Rod Cave. Now, I know on Dragon Strike's side, we already saw this, and it was nothing much. Or maybe we didn't see this yet on Dragon Strike's side, as he's making his way over to the Ice Rock Cave. So neither runner has been over here. It's only 10 arrows, so they didn't need to come here either. Ooh, those crabs showing why they are just, especially at low health, so incredibly dangerous there. 2 hits from those crabs on Dragon Strike's side basically took half his health bar. Mystic is going to go back into the water here, so he's at least going to get the Ether Medallion. If he can pull off the very difficult other one. Oh, nope, we're going to go up to Hobo instead. Stop making a liar out of me there, Mystic. Come on now. We're going to have words after this. Now, on Dragon Strike's side, we're headed back towards the northeast corner of Hyrule here. Probably gonna be jumping back into the portal up here. Or we're gonna go check Sick Kid as well. Gets his 3-pack of bombs there, and we're gonna see a save and quit on his side. So that Bombos medallion, it's both good and bad right now. Like, you can go directly into Turtle Rock a little early, and that might be where he's headed. Now, Mystic, you already chucked this. Guess he wants to set up the water walk instead of just jumping straight out. And yeah, rightly pointing out that the last time that Dragon Strike did come up here, he was not able to get the thing there. Now, Mystic is now back in that fake flipper state, so he's not going to be able to jump down here. He's going to have to decide whether or not what he wants to do. He's just going to save and quit. Okay. For those of you who are just joining in there, we have a standard Assured Sword 3-7 seed. So it's 3 crystals to enter GT and 7 crystals to be able to defeat Ganon. So quite a lot still ahead of us here, as Dragon Strike goes ahead and opens up GT really fast. Gonna be interesting to see whether or not he wants to dive in first or go check the handful of chests that he can get out of GT at the moment. Oh, looks like we are going directly in. Now on Mystic's side, this looks like it might be the pod play. So if he was able to find something like a hookshot or something in here, that could make his climb back up the mountain much more interesting, and probably remind him that he should be going into GT here pretty soon. Or should check the sign. Seems to be a theme between these two teams, is one runner not checking the signs for the goals in this between these two. Sorry, Ray. As Dragon Strike doing the fun little sword dance as he's waiting for a nice little thing to go around. Yeah, no hook shot means you've got to go the long. And into the Palace of Darkness goes Mystic, as Dragon Strike just decides, I don't want to walk back, I'm just going to take a Death Warp. Which I do not blame him. But we're going to go deeper in. Now, this is a risky play on Dragon Strike's side, because if he is able to find the Ice Rod in here, he'll be able to full clear it. If not, he's just going to be bleeding time. So both runners right now are kind of doing something that, if it works out for them, is going to be huge, but it is quite possible that it's not the thing that they should be doing at the moment. As looks like Mystic so far has just found a couple of keys. As Dragon Strike's got to be a little careful. Them chain chomp will probably one-shot him at this point. He's only got 6 hearts. Now, for both runners here, I would, if I had to choose which runner I would rather be, does find the Quake Medallion there out of the big key chest in Pod. I'd probably rather be in Dragon Strike's position right now. Having those flippers and, more importantly, having that Bombos Medallion is a huge advantage. Mystic, when he finds those flippers out of GT eventually, is going to have to think back and remember that, oh, right, there's that mushroom there on the Zora ledge. I wonder if that's anything. And that's not going to be an easy thing to remember, especially at the time that he probably will get there. It's hard to say exactly. He'll be later in the seed, as Dragon Strike unfortunately had to go get the big key out of the lava chest here. Oh, and there is the Ice Rod in the Palace of Darkness. So that is a massive find for Mystic. Unfortunately, no Bombos Medallion to get into Turtle Rock. So that is that's just unfortunately gonna make it so that we know that Dragon Strike is kind of not gonna get anything he needs, not gonna be able to complete this part of the dungeon, unfortunately. As Mystic hits the item here and sends one of the beetles, one of the frozen beetles, off the side there. Little props for style points there on Mystic's side, I'll give him that. As looks like Mimic Cave, not having much of it, anything. As we find a big key there out of Pod and the shovel as well. So Pod is having some... Dragon Strike not finding anything in Turtle Rock, unfortunately. I'm not sure if those sword slashes are frustration or just killing some time here, but finally he does find the boots, so we can go fast now. So that's going to give him a whole nother layer of checks to do right now. That'll open up both Bonk Rocks and King's Tomb to him. I'll also be able to get the small key off of the torch in GT. Bombos was locked behind the mushroom, and the mushroom is hiding on the Zora ledge right now. So Dragon Strike does have a bit of an advantage. A fairly sizable advantage, but the one thing that Dragon Strike does not have is the Ice Rod. So this is going to be a very sour ending to this Turtle Rock dip on his side. Now, it looks like Mystic is just going to sell out completely, and we're going to go finish Helmasaur on his side. Dragon Strike did pull the boots out of Turtle Rock as well, though. So that is so he's got a bit of an item advantage here, but Mystic does have one of the items that is just the most annoying to find. Pod having quite a few items today. Now, if I'm guessing, though, that's not going to trip Dragon Strike up for too long, because looking at our pendant layout between Desert Palace, Palace of Darkness, and Ice Palace, when he gets to the point where he's got nothing else to choose, he's gonna choose Pod over those others, I would think. Alright, takes a little bit of time to fill his magic up, and then he's going to make his way, I imagine, back in GT and pick up a few things there. Smartly remembering that he does have the boots now, so he can check this first chest in Hookshot Cave. Of course, doesn't actually have anything of interest. Having the Butter Sword, so these Lynels just get wrecked on the way there as we move into the Helmasaur fight over Mystic's side. Now, if Helmasaur, I'm trying to think, if Helmasaur has something like the hookshot here, Mystic is going to look like a genius. If not, though, this might be, I don't know. We still could be looking at a hookshot on pedestal or something like that, or flute, or any number of things. It's still a bit early as he gets blue mail, so I mean a decent reward for this. Probably not exactly what he wants, as he is holding that pendant up for everybody to see, as Dragon Strike is showing off one of the neat little features of the cape, where if you have the cape on and you hold onto the magic, does not drain at all. So he gets to watch all these tiles fly right by him and not take any damage. And gets a small key out of the tile room there in GT. And just a heart container from the shovel there, so nothing else there for our runners. And actually, yeah, bringing up a good point there in chat. Now, assuming Dragon Strike can do a couple of the bomb jumps, which we've already seen him do, if he wants to, he can clear out all of GT baseball. So he takes a little bit of time here, puts on the cape to just get through that one little kind of tricky room otherwise. Mystic gonna walk out to the desert here and go see Agana's cave there, and gonna top off his bombs. As Dragon Strike moves his way through the bottom of the basement here, we'll actually be able to see him open the GT big chest today, as he's gonna go do this first, it looks like. And there's our other mail upgrade, so both runners are at blue mail right now. Now, what is Mystic going to do right now? He's coming back up the mountain, so maybe he's thinking that, all right, I should be able to get into, I might be able to get into GT right now. So this could be the equalizer here for both runners. As, oh, the Ice Armos do get away from Dragon Strike here. Quite a bit. Now this is... Okay, so he has 8 arrows left, so if he does find the hook shot back here, he can climb GT, 20 rupees, a small key, and a piece of heart here. So, alright, that's gonna tell you... we're gonna go check the rest of these here. Now, there is one more chest that can have the hook shot in GT right now. As he just decides, I don't even need that small key anymore. I'm just gonna go right by it. Now, the way that these blocks are set up, you can bonk to the firebar chest down here, just as Dragon Strike is showing you. Hookshot can be upstairs as well. Yeah, that is right. As one of Dragon Strike's teammates is reminding me right now. This seed could decide to be really mean to this guy. I mean, if Hookshot is upstairs in GT, I think both of these guys are just going to need to take a nap afterwards. As, I guess Dragon Strike had not checked the basement of Hera, so he's going to back a little time. This is going to basically put both of the runners at more or less even footing. All right, so as we are an hour and 15 minutes into this seed right now, go ahead and do give these runners a follow. They are racing their hearts out right now. We've got teammates watching, and it's a ton of fun to be involved in this league right now. So as Mystic shows that, oh crap, I should have checked that probably about 45 minutes ago when I was up here the first time. As Dragon Strike is about to get that, as Mystic does see his big key there and finds his flippers, which hopefully reminds him that I should go check that mushroom. And gets his piece of heart here. Mystic decides I'm just gonna wait for... now I'm gonna turn into a bunny first, and then hide from the things here. Then you're lucky he remembers he has cape. And he can just go hug the wall, but it looks like we're going to play dodge. And we're getting a spike cave check on this. Oh, he doesn't have cape marked. Maybe cape was in GT? In Turtle Rock? I don't remember. Just bombs in spike cave, showing again that it is a completely cave. Ever check, ever. And my tracker, our tracker today, and again, big shout outs to Revolving Ocelot there for doing all of the clicking behind the scenes there. Telling us that the cape was actually in Mimic Cave. I just had missed it at the time there. Alright, on Dragon Strike's side here, we're going to be getting these boots checks here. If anything is behind them, this will be a big help to him. Just 20 rupees in Bonk Rocks here, but he's going to have King's Tune to check as well. Probably going to decide to go and check it from the Dark World there so he can actually get it through check Graveyard Ledge while he's doing it. Now, Mystic deciding not to go to the back here. It's going to work out in his favor, although he might get kind of key locked after a point here. He's going to get a second key from this door. And now I'm counting in my head. Oh, he's just basically deciding this is actually probably a pretty smart play on his side. He's not going to attempt the bomb jumps over to get to there. Now, gonna be an interesting check to see what is he going to do next, as Dragon Strike is going to get the bad news that this is not where your progression is as well. Oh, are you thinking of doing what I think you're thinking of doing, Stick? This looks like this might be an Ice Palace play on his side here. All right, now Dragon Strike is going to exhaust these checks, and then it is time to figure out where he wants to go next. Running to the left here, so. Oh, are we both going to Ice Palace now? Oh my, I think we're both about to end up in Ice Palace together. This is an interesting play for both of these runners. As Mystic showing off that you can use the Quake Medallion to just take out all of those Pain Gators in just a second. Gets his first item out of Ice Palace. There are 3 items in here for the run, and technically a 4th today, locked behind the green pendant. All right, and I believe Mystic is going to be setting up here really for the icebreaker glitch here. Something that has been in play for about 2 weeks in the league. Not a super difficult trick, a little bit of a finicky one at best there. You have to set yourself up on the right frame and then use the Cane of Samaria there to more or less push you through this railing. As Dragon Strike is going right behind him here to get it set up as well. And Mystic gets it there on pretty much his first attempt there. Finds the hook shot there in there. I would mirror out, quite honestly. I would mirror out immediately. Mirror out immediately. Mirror out to be... Oh, wow. Neither of the runners are mirroring out. We are a flute away from go mode on Mystic's side. Well, no, on no mode, because he doesn't have that Bombos medallion yet. All right, so we have 2 items through through Ice Palace already. We're gonna have to go the somewhat longish way here. And Mystic gets the nice little stair clip there, showing off. And there's your proof that I guess Ice Palace today is not hookshot locked. If the hookshot on the right side didn't make that completely obvious. Yeah, that chest right there is the best argument I've seen for Icebreaker. As Dragon Strike picks up his 3rd item, and unfortunately, he didn't hit the switch the first time here. It's not going to matter because he has the Cane of Samaria, but he is going to have to take a second here to lay down a block. Not a big deal, though. Luckily, the keys did work out in his favor. Now, this is, again, one of these times where I kind of have to give a pretty big advantage to Dragon Strike here because of having that mushroom knowledge is going to be a really big help for him as he picks up his green pendant, showing why Buttersword is locked behind Cold Stare and Vitreous in the vanilla game, because that was quick. Yep, Ice Rod was in pod here, so we're missing a flute from no mode here, but both runners are missing two different items, and both of them are just not fun items to be looking for, because they can be legitimately anywhere. As we get our green pendant over on Mystic's side. Now, moment of truth for him is if he's going to go directly to Swamp, or if he's going to go, you know, there's that mushroom over there. I should go get that mushroom. I mean, almost guaranteed he's going to go to Swamp Palace here. Oh no, he's remembering the huge play for Mystic. I'm going to... sorry, bias coming through. As we're gonna go pick up the mushroom over on Mystic's side here. That is gonna put him a flute away from go mode. If we find the, assuming he turns in this mushroom quickly, this is gonna be a big play on Mystic's side. Yeah, Mystic finished pod there, Ocelot there. So, again, big thank you to Revolving for doing all of the tracking today. It is a thankless job typically. So, in chat, if you would, make sure you give him plenty of love there. As Mystic is about to pick up his mushroom, and on Dragon Strike, we're about to make our way through Swamp Palace. Now, there's a very good chance that Dragon Strike will full clear Swamp Palace, both left side and the back here, looking for that Ice Rod. And looks like Mystic is going to jump into Swamp Palace behind Dragon Strike as well. And yeah, so if Mystic finds a flute, he will enter go mode ahead of Dragon Strike, who will still be looking for that Ice Rod, and that is just not a ton. That thing's not a whole lot of fun to try to find. Both runners have completed the same amount of dungeons. Actually, technically, Mystic has completed one more dungeon than Dragon Strike right now. And you're right, and Math Girl is reminding me very quickly here that, yeah, that Mystic picked up the mushroom, but he did not turn it in yet, so hopefully he would remember to do that after the flute. But at this point, it's hard to say exactly who is going to be in the lead here. Both runners having, like I said, just a smidgen of advantage over the other one right now. As we're going to see a diver down attempt over on Dragon Strike's side here. Going for the Samaria method there, getting it first try, very nicely done. Finding just some bombs and the map in the back here. Now, this is one thing to kind of keep in mind is how many dungeon items we see on Dragon Strike's side here, because that might kind of give him the idea of whether or not he wants to go left, or whether or not he's going to just leave that one item back there. All right, making his way back to Argus as we go. Opting for just using the sword slashes here. Taking him down really fast, though. A nice pull on Dragon Strike's side as he gets the first part down, just opting for the easy sword spins there to take Argus down. That'll be crystal number 5 for Dragon Strike. And yeah, that is that right there. We have, I believe, 2 items left in Swamp Palace right now, so there is a good chance we're still looking for things here. There we go. Dragon Strike is going back into the palace right now. Now, is Mystic going to decide to go immediately to the left? He is going to go immediately to the left. So this might actually save Mystic just a smidgen of time here if he can get the diver down glitch immediately here. It'll save him probably a good 10 to 15 seconds. Now, that is the trick though, is getting diver down is, it's again, a new glitch. It's not particularly difficult, but it's also finicky is the thing. All of the newer glitches that we have that have been discovered, or the newer techniques, if you want to call them that have been discovered, are not hard, but they are finicky. And it looks like Mystic has kind of, maybe he's got the block a little bit too far to the right here, and not going to be able to get it through. Trying to get his way out. Looks like he does. Oop, and has a little issue there. He's going to have to get this there in order to get that key, because he has flooded it at this point. And that Stalfo's knocking him off this place there. Mystic wisely going ahead and just killing him. And not getting it that time either. He's deciding to abandon it, which is going to be unfortunate, it looks like. Alright, so we're going to get to see on Dragon Strike what exactly is behind left side. You've already flooded the key. No, go back and do it, Mystic. Yeah. Alright, just a piece of heart over there. And 50 rupees, so it is not on left side swamp either. Which means... Oh boy, what does that mean? Does that mean we're gonna flute on Trinex today or something like that? Or we are going up GT. I mean, that does make sense. It could be in GT as well. So, Dragon Strike is committing to checking the top of the mountain here. We've got quite a few checks up here. Mystic is just going to go ahead and do the full left side play of Swamp, making sure that he gets the key. He doesn't really have a choice at this point, since he did flood the key there to do Diver Down and then kind of gave up on it. So we've got we're going to be checking the 3 chests that we have seen in Hookshot Cave. And we're going to go from there. Mystic just deciding I don't even want to deal with Diver Down right now. I'm just going to go and go directly to the back here. Actually, if he decides not to go left side, he will be able to basically make up some of that time that he lost to kind of having problems with the glitch. As our first chest in Hookshot Cave, there's just blue rupees, and then there is the bombs. And Z-bombs. So 3 bombs, and a blue rupee. Hookshot Cave is not the answer for the runners as well. Now, Dragon Strike is getting to have a bit of an advantage there with those boots. Those boots are allowing him to run everywhere that he needs to go that much faster. And first, we're going to go check the full left side of GT now that it is logic. Check the Rando and the Fire Snake room. Those are the 2 things that we have not seen yet. Getting a lucky fairy drop there on Mystic side, able to go ahead and get your... getting his things here. And we're about to see some new information over there. Mystic goes into the Argus fight. Dragon Strike is going to give us the first of the 5 chests that we can find back here. Have to try that. And just gets a blue cane out of the first time. So off to Rando Room we're gonna go. Not quite getting the quick kill on Mystic side there, but Argus is exploding. And now the Rando Room 4 chests on Dragon Strike are going to have a compass, the silver arrows, a blue potion, and some bombs. So that's good. But up GT, we're gonna go. And unfortunately, Mystic is just gonna sink the time into Swamp Palace here now. This is kind of unfortunate to see. Now, the trick on Dragon Strike side is he is going to need to find the flute and the ice rod. Mystic, I wouldn't be surprised to see him just need to get the ice rod from this, and again being corrected, he might also need quick Mire. Now if Mire is fully completable, that is another place that I think Dragon Strike will take the time to actually finish. For those of you just jumping in, we've got a 7 crystal to defeat Ganon, but 3 crystals to enter GT. So this has been an interesting thing here. We've already flippers in Hope Room today, which has kind of led to a lot of the other shenanigans that we are seeing here. As Dragon Strike having a little issue there, but was able to get him there on the second attempt. And he's going to climb the rest of the tower here, hoping to find either the ice rod or the flute. Now, we do know from Mystic checking Clearing Pod earlier that both the ice rod and the Quake Medallion are sitting in GT right now. Now, Mystic finding nothing on left side here. Looks like he's remembering, though, that mushroom, he has to turn that in, and that is going to be his Bombos Medallion, which will put him a flute away from go mode. This is big on Mystic side here. Now, if Dragon Strike is able to find, say, the flute up here, this could be a huge swing for Mystic as we get the book instead. Oh my, do we have a flute on the pedestal today? Nope, the flute is sitting there. Okay, so we are now in. Picks up his Bombos Medallion from the Witch's Hut. Now we are. Wow, this is gonna be, yeah, this is gonna be really close. Matter. Can Mystic do clear Turtle Rock and finish and go ahead and finish GT before Dragon Strike can get to bow-locked pod? I think I still have to give the advantage here to Dragon Strike. I think he's still far enough ahead that it should probably be his. But he is going to end up giving a full clear to Misery Mire. And he might even go into Desert Palace right there as well. And he's going to have to come back and complete Turtle Rock. So this is This is going to be really close. Like it is hard to say who's the win, but that is 2 triples on Dragon Strike's side to take down Aga 2. So very nice. Did seem like a triple 0 and a on Dragon Strike's side. Now, Ganon's going to burst through the pyramid and go reveal himself down there, but you can't defeat him yet. You've still got 2 more crystals to find on Dragon Strike's side here. Now, I imagine this is going to be a super quick run over to Kakariko there to get his flute. Luckily, does not mirror bonk. As we're getting to see in Hookshot Cave here real fast on Mystic's side, he's going to get the news that there's nothing in. And then I imagine this is going to be a Turtle Rock clear over on his side. That looks like what he is setting up to do. Alright, and the duck is free over on Dragon Strike's side. Mystic is now opening up Turtle Rock. He's going to be able to complete this in 1 setting. Dragon Strike, on the other hand, he is going to go check that ped to find out, oh god, is that thing on the pedestal today? Now, the question again is going to come, how fast can Dragon Strike get to the Palace of Darkness to go get that ice rod out of there? He's got a bit of a lead. It's going to really kind of depend on if Mystic can kind of galaxy brain that the flute is at the top of GT. Finds out that our ped is dead. Well, the only reason that the reason why Mystic might not, he's going to go up, but the question here is a matter of time. Mystic still has all of GT basement to clear, as we see that the Misery Mire medallion there is ether, as is tradition. Yeah, so this is going to be this is unfortunately bad for Dragon Strike here, because he's going to end up full clearing this. If he had found, say, Quake there, it would have been really good for him, because then he would have been able to know that I cannot get in here. I need to go into Desert Palace or Pod immediately. As a very nice Mire too done on Dragon Strike's side there. He pulls him through really, really, really quick. And unfortunately, like we know already that both runners have the big key. It was in Hope Room along with the flippers here. So yeah, the question is going to come is of course we've got a, that's actually kind of bad news for Dragon Strike as well, because that is a God Mire in Misery Mire. So that is one more thing that Mystic is not going to have to do. When he gets there, he's going to be able to go immediately to the boss. Dragon Strike is still going to take all of this time to find the 2 items here, or at least he's going to go directly to the boss as well. Okay, smart play on Dragon Strike's side, but it's going to be hard for him to avoid coming back in. Dragon Strike rightly remembering that he went ahead and effectively go-moded Misery Mire and did not actually need to hit that switch to change the things there. Put it down and then was like, oh yeah, right. As Mystic is making his way through Turtle Rock. Dragon Strike, for some reason, deciding not to use his silver arrows on Vitreous there, was opting to go for sword spins there for a second. Almost caught himself there. And takes down Vitreous pretty easily. So that is crystal number 6 for Dragon Strike here. But he is still looking for that Ice Rod. So we've got Ice Rod Hunt on the right side of your screen. For the left side of the screen, we are looking for the Flute, which we know is at the top of GT. And of course, Dragon Strike, knowing that he's looking for the Ice Rod, is going back in to clear GT, of course. After this, I imagine he's going to be checking Checkerboard Cave, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him go into Desert, and he's going to hope that something is not on Landmo, I think. As he gets Mire 2 again on the second time, showing that high level of execution that you kind of expect from somebody who ended up winning the Challenge Cup this year. Mystic is picking up his boots as Dragon Strike is lighting the torches on the left side of Mire, picks up a big 20 and is going to just hope that the other item is not in the cutscene chest. As Mystic is making his way back to Trinex as we speak right now. He's going to end up full clearing Laser Bridge on top of all of this. Goes a little bit early there, takes a little loop around as Dragon Strike makes his way over to the big key chest. Finds, unfortunately, it's just the map in the big key chest, in the big chest for Misery Mire. Pulls out another key, so sorry, Dragon Strike, it looks like you're gonna have to do it the long way. The other item is in the cutscene chest, so this is just time given back to Mystic here. As he's making his way through Laser Bridge, not finding the Flute, finding both of the other items there, and then falling off. Let's go right back to the beginning. Well, that is a rude pokey placement there from Mystic's side, as he gets the little glitch, gets the little technique there through using the Samaria block to go ahead and get through. Now, Butter Sword with Trinex, this is not going to be a long fight over here, as Dragon Strike is waiting for his 17-second Mire cutscene over there. Ooh, Mystic setting up for the zero cycle, gets to the first part of it here, goes for the second part, and gets the zero cycle on Trinex. Nope, not quite. I guess maybe just a second short there. Looked like he had gotten it right. Dragon Strikes finds out that that is not where my item is either. This looks like this is going to be a Desert Palace dive, as Mystic takes down a Trinex. So first gonna check Checkerboard Cave here. Now, Dragon Strike still does have probably still does have the advantage here, because Mystic is likely to clear the basement of GT. But this is still a very close race. If Mystic is able to decide that, you know what, I'm going directly to the top of GT, he can save himself quite a bit of time. Now, the big question here for Dragon Strike is, where are the items? If they're front part of Desert Palace, then he be in pretty good shape here. All right, we're not boots locked in Desert Palace today, which is kind of nice. And Mystic is doing the basement of GT. I mean, this does make perfect sense. So this is where Dragon Strike is going to have to be able to find that ice rod, because outside of Desert Palace and Pod, I don't think he has anything left. This is true. The thing for Dragon Strike, the reason why I'm calling this advantage is not like the ice rod is in the back, in the bow lock side, which, assuming that he gets into there, he'll be checking that usually within his first 6 chests. So that ice rod will be his pretty quickly. As Mystic is unfortunately having a little Gibdo issues down here in there, and Dragon Strike is making his way back to Land Molus, so he's gonna all dungeon this seed, it looks like, almost. Mystic going ahead and deciding, you know what, I'm just gonna use this here. As I think both runners have to be feeling it right now, have to be feeling the strain there. On Dragon Strike's side, there is nothing worse than an ice rod hunt. It is one of the worst things that you could be dealing with. On Mystic's side there, he's looking everywhere for this flute, not quite finding it where he wants. Gonna get the blue cane here. It's gonna get 4 more items once he's done with the front of GT here. He's got the climb ahead of him. Even in the best of scenarios there, that's a good 5 minutes. Dragon Strike, 0 cycling the Land Molus there. Picking up a piece of heart, or at least seeing a piece of heart, and then deciding it is time for him. And Dragon Strike is back up on the mountain. I imagine a flute is shortly coming, or Spike Cave check, I suppose. Book checks as well, yeah. As Mystic picks up his red mail. Yeah, I guess there were some additional checks there for Dragon Strike yet to do here. This is one of these kind of, I wouldn't call this a Hail Mary. This is the, oh, please let it be here, because it would route so nicely with the rest of what I'm doing. As Mystic has now at least evened up the Silver Arrow advantage there for Dragon Strike. As we're gonna head down to the Bombos tablet here, and then after that, I imagine he's gotta head towards Pod here. So we're gonna be dealing with how fast can either of these runners get through the rest here. As Mystic is gonna get it's not in here. So let's climb GT. Yes? No, Mystic is leaving. Mystic, go back inside. No, stop, go back inside. Oh no. All right, that's probably gonna give advantage game to Dragon Strike at this point here, because that is that's a huge oof there on Mystic's side. And yep, Dragon Strike is fluting to 5, and that's pretty much going to be all she wrote, I think. And Mystic goes back up the mountain here. think he's realized his mistake, but that's going to give at least a good minute back to Dragon Strike here that he really could have used that. Oh, and then gets dead rocked on top of it, you jerks. Alright, they get out of the way finally for him here, as Dragon Strike has exhausted everything. Green pendant. And Dragon Strike is going to make his way into pod here. He's going to very quickly get his Ice Rod here, and then it's a matter of running through Turtle Rock. He's already completed GT, so... Alright, now Dragon Strike is probably going to take a couple of seconds here and make sure to check these first couple of things here. I believe there was a second key in this bridge chest over in pod. Once he gets this, that's probably gonna force him back over onto the right side. The Ice Rod is sitting in the chest over there on that ledge. And as soon as he gets that, he will enter go mode. And Mystic is remembering that he should not have left T and is running back up there right now. And here in just a moment, Dragon Strike will be entering go mode. And at 1 hour, 56 minutes, and 15 seconds, Dragon Strike has entered go mode. It's got to do a quick mirror and a quick flute back up to the mountain and run through Turtle, a already completed, well, at least already cleared Turtle Rock as fast as he can. Mystic giving me a little bit of by taking out that bee and just letting him do work in these first two rooms. Gold bees in the gauntlet there are a fantastic way to clear some items, clear some guys really quickly there. They'll get rid of all of that stuff in almost no time whatsoever. Now this guy got away a little bit, but Mystic go ahead and get him, as Dragon Strike is almost all the way back to GT, all the way back to Turtle Rock. Sets up the bonk there, and Landmo 2 not playing nice there over on Mystic's side, unfortunately. This is one time where I'm going to telepathically tell Mystic, you have gold sword, just slash him. And he listens there and takes them down. Yeah, but good luck proving it is my thing. All right, it's at the end of the time there, and as we're getting a little finicky there with a couple of these Wizrobe rooms here as Mystic is in the thing, as Dragon Strike is already halfway through Turtle Rock right now. He's going to make his way all the way there all the way back in just a second. And then as soon as he kills Trinex, it is just a matter of getting to the pyramid for him. As Mystic picks up the book there and is about to enter go mode himself. So at about three minutes after Dragon Strike here, Mystic has entered go mode as well. The Dragon Strike does have pretty much a fairly large lead at this point. I don't see him. I don't see him outside of like a Ganon fall and a couple of deaths here. Losing this one today. Gold Sword and Silver Arrows for runners of this caliber is usually pretty much just a way to say goodbye to Ganon very quickly. As Mystic having a little trouble here with the conveyors. Dragon Strike going for the 0 cycle, hops behind Trinex there, gets both of the 3 slashes in there. Trinex moves to the top and gets the 0 cycle over on Dragon Strike's side as Mystic is into his Aga 2 fight. And down goes Trinex there for crystal number 7 for Dragon Strike. So it is a matter of getting to the pyramid for him, and then it will be all she wrote. Double there over on Mystic's side, and that takes down Aga 2. So Aga 2 will be down for Mystic. He's going to need to go and activate the flute and complete Misery Mire before Dragon Strike can go and complete Ganon there. Dragon Strike is pulling out the flute. He will be fluting to either 5 or 4. Looks like we're going to go 5. And onwards we go as Mystic goes ahead and decides to save and quit from the pyramid. And he'll be heading to Kakariko Village to activate his flute, but it looks like it's likely to be too little too late at this point. Alright, Ganon with Gold Sword is not a particularly difficult fight for these runners. It's going to be 6 slashes in the first phase, followed by 6 slashes in the second phase, followed by 4 slashes there in the third phase, and then you're going to just need to use your Silver Arrows to knock him out. And we drop into Ganon on Dragon Strike's side there, already getting a few of these slashes in, getting very quickly, kind of has a little bit of an interrupted cycle there on Ganon. Gonna use the dash strats here to go ahead and get the rest of these things here. Uses the hook shot to get a few invincibility frames, and he's already on to phase 3 on his side there. All right, almost to phase 4 as well here. Things are going fast. Just about to enter Misery Mire here on his side. As Ganon starts complaining about his silver allergy. Misses the torch glitch over on Dragon Strike's side, but I can't see this really making a big difference for him. And it's going to end up with a single and a single there to start it off. Go with another single. Gonna have to relight the torches, but this should be all she wrote. Ganon tries to get away. Dragon Strike strikes him again. And that is your exploding Ganon, and he has slain our pig friend today. That will be a victory for Team Hime there. Dragon Strike finishes with an SRL time of 2 hours, 10 minutes, and... Wait, no, I'm sorry, looking at the wrong one. 2 hours, 3 minutes, and 30 seconds. Whoops. Giving the game away there. All right, and we will be... Looks like we will be joined in chat by our friend... Dragon Strike here. GG's there, bud.
GG's. I think I died in real life.
Yeah, that ice rod hunt really pulled you everywhere, didn't it?
Yep.
I mean, I got to give you props though. Your execution there, generally across the board, was pretty good. How do you feel about everything?
I mean, I felt pretty good all over the seat until Ice Rod happened, I guess. But yeah, I don't know. Everything went horrible after seeing you need 7 crystals. I thought the seed would be done in 40 minutes or something.
We kind of thought so too there. When you got those 3 crystals, there was a bit of a diversion where you went to go to the crystal for Thieves Town, and Mystic decided he was gonna just kern jump right across and get the information. So there for a minute, we all thought that you were gonna be done within that, about 40 minutes, and that was gonna be all she wrote. But I guess the seed had different ideas for you.
Yep.
Well, there. So that'll take your team up to 9 points on the season there. What do you guys got for next week?
Hopefully 2 wins this time. It would be great for a change.
So are you going to end up playing the cross keys then?
I play the cross keys, yep. I play it pretty much every week now.
Yeah. Well, right on there then. Good to hear there. Is there any point in this seed where you kind of felt like you were in the lead, or did you ever feel like you were behind? Like, how did you feel during the middle of it?
I mean, I saw the hammer in Spec-Rock and was like, oh no. Could have gotten that so early. So I was worried a bit at that point. That's why I didn't go to Port as well, because I knew he will probably go there early. Yeah. Well.
Yeah, I mean, there was you were generally better about making a lot of the clears there. Mystic kind of at one point at the very beginning there, he forgot to go to and check the GT goal. I think if he had done that, he would have been in there earlier and would have been able to get the flippers and such. You, on the other hand, went right in there. You got the flippers, which led to your mushroom and your bombos medallion pretty early. Unfortunately, did kind of lead you towards the ice rod hunt, where because he didn't have those flippers, he ended up going into pod a little bit earlier.
Yeah, that bombos was kind of good and kind of bad at the same time, because I wanted to dip into Ice Palace at least, but well, almost happened. But at least I got the boots out of it, so it wasn't too bad, I guess. But double dip TR never feels good.
Right. I mean, those boots did kind of give you a definite lead. I'm kind of curious to see what your completion percentage is here today, because like it got to be at some point where we were sitting here on chat trying to decide, like, what do you even have left?
What?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. Well, it looks like Mystic is into the Ganon fight as well. Through phase 3 of the Ganon fight there. Well, I think you're probably going to be heading over to the other stream over on the German restream. If is that right?
Yep. So thank you again for the commentary. And GG's to Mystic. Good luck in the league, guys. Oh my god, no! Mystic!
Yeah, I saw it too. Oh, well. Okay, well, yep, GG's there, Dragon Strike. Congratulations on the win there. Congratulations on getting your team up to 9 points in there. We'll be rooting for you for the rest of the way.
Oh, GG's. Thank you again.
Take care there, bud. Now, Mystic is going to drop into Ganon for the second time, unfortunately, taking that one fire bat there and getting knocked off there in phase 4. I'm pretty sure he had already seen the message at that point, so we're going to get a quick repeat fight here of Ganon. Gets through the first part there without too much problem there. Got his cape out already here, just in case, to make it just super easy. All right, getting through this next part there is already into phase 3 there. Like I said, Ganon with sword tends to go down pretty quickly. And on to phase 4 we go. Oh no, Silver, my one true weakness. Ooh, setting up for a nice double there. Pulling out the Fire Rod. Going to be able to... I don't know if he's got enough room for a double there, but he's going to try it. Gets it. There, nicely done. A nice repeat there on the Ganon fight. As Mystic will be coming in just a minute here. He's going to cross the line with an SRL time of 2 hours, 10 minutes, and 29 seconds there. So get your GGs into chat for Mystic there, putting up a very, very good fight. And Mystic has, from what that ping sounds like, it sounds like Mystic is joining me in chat right now. GG's there, bud.
GG.
So, what do you want to talk about?
Let's just pretend Swamp Palace didn't happen, and I'll be happy to talk about anything else.
Okay, fair enough. I'm gonna now for those of you who are me and Mystic are teammates here, so I'm gonna have to say one thing to you. Why did you leave GT?
I was like, okay, if it's not in the bottom half, and it's in Spike Cave, I'm not gonna be able to get back to it fast. And then I screwed up. I could have veered right on top of something and screwed up. So.
It's all right, man. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, this was a like you guys never really had the same route. Like outside of you guys stayed together pretty much equal there at the beginning, and then just decided to go completely different places most of the time.
Yeah, I wrote it a little weird in this one, but it was paying off early on, and then it just kind of fell apart when I couldn't find the flute.
No, it was working for you guys. I mean, like, both of you didn't find that flute at any sort of good time there, because, I mean, it's at the top of GT. Nobody's going to find that fast. Yeah.
Yeah.
But, I mean, yeah, I mean, all in all, you played well.
I'd like to have the hitboxes on Firebats checked, please.
Oh, yeah, I mean, those things are awful, aren't they?
I thought see, to me, it looked like the fire was fading, so I had time. I could step back in there, and I guess I did it too early.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, it didn't really matter, but it's just still kind of like, oh, come on, game, just let me have this one.
Yeah, I figured I'd lost by the 2:05 mark, but I didn't have IRC open because I checked it at 2 hours, and he hadn't done yet. So I was like, okay, just close it and go.
Yeah, I know. I mean, that was the smart play. Yeah, he got in probably about 3 minutes before you did, because and when he got himself into go mode, he was he just had to run back through Turtle Rock, so he had the advantage at that point, pretty much regardless.
Yeah.
But I mean, all in all, though, dude, I mean, yeah, a couple of things here and there, but I mean, he's good at the game.
Yep.
Well, yeah.
Not a fun seed.
I mean, it was being talked in chat. Anytime you get like a 3 entry requirement for GT, you know there's going to be some sort of shenanigans in there.
Shout out to my boy Ravis for not checking sign buddies. I actually even went. I was like, okay, I'll do Super Bunny. They go over and check the sign. Did Super Bunny? Like, oh, there's nothing here. Saved and quit. I'm like, oh crap. I only have a few spots left, so if it's either 3 or 4 crystals, either way, I might. And there's nothing in pod. Well, I'm gonna have to go back up there anyway. So at that point, it wasn't worth running all the way back up to check the sign.
Right. Yeah, I know. When you did that, a kind of internal monologue was just like, no. But yeah, it's all good.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you watch back, you're gonna hear me start shouting at you when you when you left GT.
I figured I'd return the favor. That's all.
I mean, it's fair. Only fair is fair. Top. I mean, we both know Top gets all the luck.
Yeah.
And did we just lose the stream?
No, looks like we're good.
Oh yeah? Okay. I guess it just lost it on my side there. Okay. Well, we coming up for today here. Actually, before I go into any of that there, anything else you want to talk about for the about the seed there, buddy?
No, I'm good. It wasn't cross keys. That's all that mattered.
That's the important thing, right?
That's right.
Okay, well that sounds pretty good there. But okay, so well, GG's to you here. I'm gonna go into my closing spiel, I guess.
All right, GG's.
All right, but talk to you in a little.
Take care.
And so today, we've still got some more fun rando times ahead of us here. Starting over in about 10 minutes over on Speed Gaming 3. We've got a match here between Amaranth and Kyung there. That is Swedish Rubbers versus the Kinda Rando Retired there. Kinda Rando Retired is got a perfect record through the first 4 weeks of the season here. So that's going to be a good one to go check out there. Go over to Speed Gaming 3 if you're wanting to see that. If you are looking, let's see, I'll make sure I got my times right there. 10:40. Yeah, okay, yeah. That's going to be starting in about 10 minutes. Over on, if you just want to stay tuned here, there is a match between the Long Shots and Clown Parade here. That's going to be Diesel Martini versus PRD Wong. Here starting at 11:10 p.m. So that's going to be the late race there as well, and there's a chance that I might be doing the commentary for that one as well, but we'll see how it goes for the rest of the day. So with all of this in mind here, a big shout out again to our tracker today, Revolving Ocelot there, clicking the buttons behind the scenes there. And again, it is a thankless task, and it is something that is really, really good for it. So if you're ever looking to volunteer for the league, please go ahead and join the league Discord, get involved, generally help out. If you want to do what I'm doing, you can do that as well. Also, big shout outs to Math Girl for restreaming this seed here, getting everything all set up and cropped, and making sure that we're able to, actually watch the rest of this seed. Again, go ahead and make sure to get give the runners a follow as well there, both Mystic and Dragon Strike, for putting on this really exciting match that we had today. With that in mind, as the last bit of the credits go up and we see that both runners had a 180 or above collection rate, which means you checked pretty much everything in the game, that we are I have been Dazed Cloud, and thank you for tuning in today, and I'll see you next time.